So welcome to Hyderabad. I heard you've just flown back all the way from New Jersey or New York, right?
That's
And
correct. From New York, I had a media panel to do at UNGA, United Nations General Assembly. And there I talked about the state of affairs in our country, mostly about the state of media and democracy, and why the world still thinks that we are a country of 1.45 billion people who just keep dancing and doing yoga and singing songs. And nobody really cares about the problems that we have.
okay, but the discussion was about problems of India or the press and freedom?
It was about press and freedom, but how the press freedom or the assault on the press freedom is directly impacting our democracy. And also the poorest people of India. So it was in general about democracy, but particularly about the role the media plays in kind of ruining and backsliding of our democracy.
Okay, so whose voice do you believe the media is amplifying, and whose voices are they suppressing in India today? The mainstream media, right?
That's a good question, but before that, since all of us are gathered here, and I wanted to take a moment to say two things. First of all, pay my respects to Mahatma Gandhi, the father of the nation, who I feel is the sole ambassador of India to the world, and not the other two Gujaratis who think they are. From Europe to America, to Asia, to Africa, trust me, wherever I've gone, everybody, almost everybody who knows a little bit about India, they say, oh, you've come from the country of Mahatma Gandhi. And the second thing is that I also want to take this moment to remember my colleagues, my media colleagues in Gaza, Palestine, more than 200 of them. Especially the ones who are no more with us. In the last 22 months, more than 200 of them have been killed mercilessly doing their job. I want to take this moment to acknowledge their work, their courage, and everything they're putting on the line to tell us the stories of the most persecuted group on the planet Earth. You said your question.
So just to come back to Gaza, right? Do you think their voices are making any impact at all? Is anyone listening to them? Is there anything that can be done?
So there are two types of journalists right now in Gaza. The ones who are no more with us, and the second who are perhaps counting their days. Every day when they go out with their camera or with their pen and paper, they know, their families know, they may not come back. If they were not making a difference, me and you and the audience, we all would not be sitting here knowing what's happening in Gaza.
So they are able to get their news out, their stories
I'm saying
out.
the fact that we are talking about Gaza, the fact that we know how many people have been killed mercilessly by the terrorist state of Israel is because of them.
Interesting.
Is because of those 200, more than 200 people who have sacrificed their lives, and a few more hundred who are still, they go every day, they go out and report knowing that they have a serious threat, danger to their lives.
Interesting. Very, very grateful to people like that for giving us an insight of what's happening and what could happen in other parts of the world if we ignore the lessons we learn from these. So coming back, we were talking about, whose voices does the mainstream media amplify and whose does it ignore? Is it only the marginalized sections, or it ignores many other people?
Well, see, to understand where media is in 2025, we need to understand have a little bit understanding of how our society has worked. Let's say the timeline should be since 1947. Mostly, traditionally, the social, economic, and political resources have been with the 15% of the population at the cost of the 85%. That was the norm since 1947 until 2014. So I am not trying to say at all that the media was ideal before Narendra Modi arrived on the political stage. But what has changed since 2014 is stunning. Now, it is not just that the media does not show the stories of our most marginalized. When I say most marginalized, I mean the Dalits, the Adivasis, the so-called lower caste groups, the laborers, the farmers, the Muslims, the Christians, the youth, the women, which is almost all of India, right? So this will not be, this will even be less than 15% of the people that they decide that only their stories deserve to be told, deserve to be written about. So this was the case until 2014. But now, since 2014 to now 2025, what we are witnessing is villainization, vilification of this 15%. So not just that they are erasing their stories or they are invisible, their stories are invisible. Now there is an active vilification and villainization of our farmers, of our laborers, but most particularly, I would say, more particularly, it is the Muslims. Because for the BJP and RSS, for the RSS, we are now celebrating the 100 years of RSS today. So it's a good occasion to talk about that. For the RSS, for the last 100 years, the Muslims have been the #1 enemies. Now for the media, in the last 11 years, what we are witnessing is the agenda of the RSS on television. That, as long as you have a clear-cut enemy in the form of Indian Muslims, the 200 million people, they will come after Christians also. They have come after farmers also. They keep coming after Dalits also. They keep talking about and, kind of villainize the Adivasis also. But the 365-day season is only reserved for Indian Muslims.
Okay.
So as long as you have a clear-cut enemy, a villain, Mr. Modi will not be asked any questions. He has completed 11 years in power. In any decent society, in any decent democracy, now the accountability should be on the Prime Minister, on his government, on his ministers. There is zero accountability, no questions asked, because as long as you have this enemy at the center stage, you don't have to ask any questions of Mr. Modi and his government.
Why is the media not asking? No one is stopping them, are they? Is there any pressure or force on the media to not ask these questions?
I would say there is a pressure and there is also greed. There are two things. One, that you are not allowed to ask questions, and two, you don't want to ask questions. Now, the state of media is such that, let's say, the political editors or the chief editors and even the anchors, I'm sure it will not surprise our audience that who gets to do the 9 p.m. bulletin, who becomes the chief editor, who becomes the political editor of, let's say, X media group. That is not decided by the newsroom. That is not decided by the boardroom. That's not decided by, the board of directors in that newsroom. It is decided by the people sitting in power. The people in power decide who gets to become a news anchor, does 9 p.m. bulletin or 8 p.m. bulletin, or becomes the political editor or chief editor. So this is the state of affairs. This is how majboor, the helpless, our media is today.
So you are saying that the political establishment sends out feedback on a daily or weekly basis to the news channels and says, we like this, we don't like this, change this person, bring that person in. Do they do that? Really?
It is to the extent that on the WhatsApp groups, the media, the editors are told what stories will run today, what are going to be our headlines for today. It's not even as little as liking or not liking. They set the agenda. The journalists follow.
So, sorry, it's not funny.
It's sounding funny. It's ridiculously funny, I know. It's ridiculous and it's funny.
But that's a major allegation you're making. You're saying that the political establishment decides the lead stories for the day. They decide the anchor who will lead that story, and they will also decide the speakers who are there in the panel.
I'm saying this with full responsibility.
Wow. And this landscape has changed. This is the change that you have seen since 2014. Prior to 2014, this was not the case.
I'm not trying to say, again, I'm saying, see, prior to 2014, जर्नलिस्ट होते थे जो चापलूस होते थे, वो कांग्रेस पार्टी की चापलूसी करते थे, गांधी, नेहरू, इंदिरा गांधी, इन सब की जय जयकार करते थे, and they would hesitate in asking difficult questions of the government and to the government. But what they were not doing was trying to actively incite hatred and violence against certain communities. They were not damaging the society.
Okay.
So they were still the cheerleaders for the government, for the particular party in power, whether it was the BJP or the Congress, or it was a coalition. We've also had coalition governments. They were sycophants of the political parties, but they were not actively inciting hatred and violence, and which I call genocidal journalism. They were not doing that before 2014.
Okay. So that's the big change. And so this you're saying is actually collusion with the ruling party, right? The media is colluding with them, and that's affecting the society today, okay? And you had some videos you wanted to show us.
So at this point, I would like you to watch 2 short videos just to give you a little example of how the media, the so-called, I hate to call them mainstream media, and I'm going to elaborate on that as well, that why not just me, but all of us should stop calling them the mainstream media, because they do not represent the mainstream. They do not represent our farmers, they do not represent our laborers, they do not represent the Dalits, the Adivasis, the Muslims, the Christians, the youth, the women. They do not represent the soul of this country. They are not mainstream media. And people in the alternate, so-called alternate media that I'm also a member of, I want to say it with a lot of pride that we are the media and we are mainstream.
Can we have those videos, please?
ये विभाजन धर्म के आधार पर हुआ, लेकिन मैं आपको बड़ी स्क्रीन पर दिखाती हूं कि जिस मकसद से ये विभाजन किया गया था, वो मकसद कभी पूरा ही नहीं हुआ। बंटवारे के वक्त पश्चिमी पाकिस्तान और पूर्वी पाकिस्तान से कुल 83 लाख लोग भारत में आए थे। 83 लाख जो हम आपको बता रहे हैं एंट्री, ये 83 लाख पूर्वी पाकिस्तान से और पश्चिमी पाकिस्तान से मिलाकर, जबकि भारत से कुल 96 लाख लोग पाकिस्तान में गए थे। 96 गए थे, इधर भी और इधर भी। ये विभाजन का मकसद क्या पूरा हुआ 1947 में, यही हम पूछ रहे हैं। तो 96 लाख गए पाकिस्तान में और 83 लाख आए भारत में। उस वक्त भारत में मुसलमानों की आबादी लगभग 4 करोड़ थी, लेकिन इसके बावजूद सिर्फ 96 लाख मुसलमान ही पाकिस्तान गए। बाकी मुसलमानों ने भारत को ही अपना देश माना, वो रुक गए।
Passengers to flight.
Welcome to Guwahati City.
मामा हमारे देश में no God but
Do I need to even say anything? So you saw 2 videos. One video which says that Muslims who decided to stay back in India even after partition का मकसद पूरा नहीं हुआ. Just think about this sentence, that the objective of partition was not fulfilled because majority of the Muslims, they decided to stay back in India. Is this not an active incitement for hatred and violence against the Muslims? Do you agree with me? I mean, there are far worse videos that I can show you which have gone on air on national television, but I'm just saying in this really, and this was aired on the eve of 15th August, of Independence Day. The second video, there is an election in Assam next year. The video clearly says that this is going to be the state of Assam where every third person is a Muslim now. The composition, the demography is such. So the political parties decide and the media follows. The media sets the agenda and the political party, this particular political party, the ruling party, they follow it. They are colluding with each other to divide our society on the basis of religion, of caste, of language, but mostly I would say, and I'm not going to, chew my words, that this is the clear-cut number one agenda is to divide our society based on religion.
So what does the media gain by doing this? Are they paid to do this, or is it out of fear, reprisal, that they support the government in this divisive policies?
See, to understand why the media does this, we need to understand a little bit about the media ownership, the issues of media ownership. The richest man in India and one of the richest men in the world, he owns the majority of the stakes in media right now. He owns the 75% of the media. And he is best friends with the prime minister. So what happens is when he owns the media, he sets the agenda. So again, it is not just one type of collusion with just maybe innocent news anchors trying to do something which they shouldn't. They are just small actors. There are bigger actors in the play. So they are just actors. There are directors and producers of these actors who are sitting in boardrooms deciding policies for us. And that's why you need to really understand the media ownership. So when 75% of the media is owned by one man who's friends with the political party in power, this is the media you get, not the media you deserve.
Yes, I agree with you on that. That's right. So you're saying now that because of this alternate media has emerged, right? More and more independent channels talking about local stories, talking and trying to give out a version which they believe to be the right and the truthful version. And why is the government not blocking those media channels? Why are they letting them survive?
Yeah. Before I answer this question, I also want to give credit where it deserves. I forgot to give you an example of what changed after 2014. I have also been, and I like to name things. I have also been part of Rajya Sabha television. That used to be a parliament-owned television channel. And imagine a Sarkari channel, a government channel, in my days when I was associated with it, had more freedom. I could say whatever I wanted to say. I could do any video story I wanted to do. I criticized the Manmohan Singh government, every single policy of his, whether it was the social policies or whether it was his politics or it was about the Gandhis. There was not a single memo which was given to me. I remained, for the 7 years that I was with them, I remained the primetime anchor with them despite criticizing them, despite even hosting and platforming the spokesperson from the BJP and the RSS. I used to have the RSS spokespersons on my panel while being on Rajya Sabha television. And it was the Congress party government. It was the UPA government. So I don't know whether they loved me for doing this or not, but certainly they didn't hate me, they didn't target me, they did not attack me. So I thought I should give credit where it deserves, where it is due. So you said why the government is not trying to stop,
Yeah,
right?
why are the independent media channels surviving?
Well, we are threatened and attacked every day. People like me, the kind of online trolling I have faced. In the last 11 years, there have been several occasions where I've had sleepless nights. I developed thick skin, that I stopped getting bothered by what people say about me online. And that included all kinds of threats. Threats to me, threats to my family, rape threats, death threats. People making videos, graphic videos, explaining what do they plan to do with me. Including, let's say if I'm talking about Mr. Modi and his government, so he will say, हम तुम्हारा गुजरात बना देंगे. हम तुम्हारा बिल्किस बना देंगे, referring to Bilqis Bano. And now they say the vocabulary has changed. Now they don't talk about Gujarat so much. They say हम तुम्हारा फिलिस्तीन बना देंगे. So we will do to you what we are or our friends in that part of the world are doing to the people of Palestine. So these are the dreams that they dream. And gradually I developed a thick skin and stopped caring about what people are saying about me online. Sometimes just logging off from Twitter, sometimes just, kind of deactivating my accounts, or sometimes stopping, my messages that people can't message me, or stopping, blocking the comment sections, right? Comment sections. But then, so swiftly, now this online threat has shifted to offline. There is a real threat and a real danger to reporters like me. And I'm someone who, of course, you see me in the studio, but I definitely, certainly like to go to report on the events, at least the events that I think are important. Those could be elections or big political or social events. There have been several occasions where I was reporting in Uttar Pradesh, in Rajasthan, and also in Kashmir, where my life and was literally in danger. There have been several occasions where I had to suspend my reportage and come back to my hotel. There have been occasions when I had to change the car. I had to change, the hotel that I was staying in, the car that I was being driven in. There have been occasions when I was reporting in Gujarat in the last assembly elections where I thought the food I was having was not safe for me. And despite all of that, you wake up every day and you tell the stories that need to be told.
And the police don't help you? You cannot seek any protection from anyone when you apprehend these threats?
Well, to be honest with you, I would still like to believe that the police is my friend, and I can go to them when I am in distress. But sadly, on most occasions, that has not been the reality. Because then the police, the dilemma before them is to listen to their political masters, or do or maybe adhere to the oath of the Constitution that they've taken, is to protect the citizens of this country. So they, I think, are also torn between doing, either that or this. But especially this problem is particularly more in states where the BJP is in power.
Okay, so these media channels now, from what you're telling me, and you went through these trolling, especially I think 2020 was that, when the trolls chased you and so on.
I mean, that hasn't stopped.
It hasn't stopped.
It hasn't stopped. It's just that I get less impacted. I become more immune to what is being said about me online. But as I said, that the threat online world has so swiftly shifted to the offline world that there is a real threat to journalists like me going to jail, getting physically threatened, or even getting killed. So that is why, because the danger has increased in degree, and that is why the online does not matter to me so much, because it is now the real, palpable, on my skin danger.
And this is because you're a woman and a Muslim, or just because you're anti-establishment?
All the above.
So when you say physical, it's come out into the physical space now and not the online space. So you apprehend that any government or organization or a police force there would come in and arrest you for something that you've spoken? Is that your fear?
I mean, that's quite a possibility. People like me have gone to jail.
Yeah.
People who do the same work that I do. The organization that I work for, there are numerous cases on my organization. There are numerous cases on people like me, people who have my kind of profile. So that's not something that should surprise you or anybody in this
But
audience.
are you also scared that somebody might come and hit you on
All
the
kinds
road?
of possibilities, all kinds of possibilities. And you know, people like, I encounter people only last month, I met somebody at the airport and they said, oh, Arfa ji, you are here, can I talk to you? I was like, sure. And this gentleman starts with like a soft tone. I assumed that he was the viewer of my program, which he was, but he would watch my program so that he could hate on me. I have met people not just here in India, I have met people in New York, I have met people in San Francisco, I have met people in Washington, DC, people who hate me and hate what I do.
So when you talk about alternate media, which is, a substitute for the mainline media, who are your audience? Will they be the general public at large? Because you're now addressing them not through TV channels, but through YouTube channels and so on. So unless I'm aware of your program, I will not watch it. So are you not reducing your bandwidth and your audience, and therefore only addressing people who believe in you and not trying to address the larger segment which needs to, maybe observe and understand what's going on?
See, I am one of those fortunate people who have been a part of the golden generation of TV. The TV that you see today, this is people like me who've given the sweat and blood to make this TV what it is today. So I'm very, very fortunate. I don't take any responsibilities of what TV is today in the last 10 years. I'm talking about TV news as in private TV channels. So people like me, we belong to the golden generation. And today, I am untouchable. Not just that I am unemployed, I'm unemployable by television. Nobody can touch me. Nobody can give me any employment. In an ideal world, they would be bidding for me that we want to pay you, 1 crore package or 2 crores package or 5 crore package to bring in to someone like me to television. But today, I'm unemployable. They cannot touch me. So this is how TV has changed. Now you're saying that, do I not want to,
Address the
appeal
larger
to a
audience?
larger audience? I would say with a lot of pride that I exist despite everything, despite the fact they do not want me to exist. People literally type for my name on YouTube, on social media, to see what I have to say on a certain subject. So I don't come on TV, I am not even in the newspapers. They search for me, they find me, and then they listen to me. There cannot be any bigger compliment for a journalist. I want to tell you a small story on no matter how small the audience base is. First of all, I don't think it's small. It's growing really fast to an extent that all the television media, the TV stations, they all have now their YouTube channels. And they're being watched more on YouTube and less on TV. The data actually kind of suggests this. I want to tell you a really sweet and small story that I had gone to a musical evening. There was one gentleman who was waiting. So at the end of that musical evening, there were a few people who were taking photographs with me. They were taking selfies, and some were there who were, taking autograph. There was one old gentleman sitting in a corner, just staring at me. Towards the end, I looked at him and I said, "Aye, aap baat karna chahte hain mujhse?" Then he came to me and he said, "I wanted to tell you something. कोई भी बड़ी खबर अगर ब्रेक होती है और दिन भर मैं उस खबर के बारे में सोच रहा होता हूँ कि इस खबर के बारे में मेरे आइडियाज़ ये हैं, मेरे ख्याल ये हैं, और इस खबर के बारे में जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल व्हाट जस्टिस चंद्रचूड़ सेड फॉर एग्जांपल, और लेट्स से एनीथिंग अबाउट द फार्म लॉज फॉर एग्जांपल. सो एनी न्यूज़ item that he feels is directly and personally impacting him. He said the whole day I think about this news development, और शाम में जब मैं ऑन करता हूँ अपना मोबाइल या टीवी पे जब मैं आपका प्रोग्राम देखता हूँ, आप हूबहू वही कह रही होती हैं जो मैं दिन भर सोचता हूँ. आपको ये कैसे पता लगता है कि मैं क्या सोच रहा हूँ? This is the biggest compliment I have ever received in 25 years of my journalism career. And I can claim that no matter how small that section is, no matter how little influence I have, at least there is one person jiski nerves pe mera haath hai. I know what he thinks like.
Back there, you were telling me exactly this. You said your new channel that you proposed to start will actually tell people what they want to hear and not what you want to say, right? So this little episode you narrated now, it seems to say that, but how will you do it practically on a day in and day out basis? How are you going to get the pulse out?
Yeah, it's a difficult question. So I've launched a channel on August 15. I continue to remain with The Wire in the same capacity as I was. But on the side, I also have this platform. I was at Stanford for about a year. I got this prestigious fellowship called John S. Knight Fellowship. And there are many interesting stories, by the way, about this fellowship program as well. So when I hadn't even reached Stanford, after the announcement of this fellowship program, there were dozens of emails which went from India to the JSK program, to the Stanford, not just the directors of the John S. Knight Fellowship program at Stanford, but also the president of Stanford saying, she does not represent us, she is not a journalist, she is a jihadi, you should not take her, please reject her selection. Please suspend it. So when I reached there, then they finally told me about all these interesting emails that the online team of our Saffron party, they had sent to the Stanford, and they were like, maybe we were 98% sure of your selection, but after receiving these emails, we are 100% sure we've selected the right person. So सारा काम खराब ही नहीं करते हैं लोग, कभी-कभी अच्छा भी करते हैं. So anyway, so for 1 year that I was there, there were several...
Poster.
Sure.
That poster you're supposed to
There were several, ideas and programs that I thought about, which were, I prepared the pilot of those programs. Those were peer-reviewed by 12 other journalists. There were 13 journalists, 6 international and 7 US-based journalists. So for the whole year, I did this exercise, and now I have some ideas in my mind that I want to implement through this channel that I have launched on August 15. It's just about a month-long channel. So this is also a shameless plug, an appeal to all of you to not just subscribe to this channel that I've launched, but also please, please, please become members of this channel. What I plan to do in this channel is that I want to turn the lens of the camera towards the people. You are going to tell me what I do. You are going to tell me what your issues are, what the media that you want, the media that you deserve. There are some social projects that I have in mind that I want to launch, provided I get the resources that are needed to make those programs. So this is an appeal to all of you, and you will gradually see it unfolding. There are a few programs I have in mind. I'm not going to divulge them, reveal them here. You're going to watch them. But this is an appeal to subscribe and also become paid members of this channel. Thank you very much. If there's anything else that I can answer.
And you will promise now, here in front of everyone, to voice the marginal people's feelings, their desires, their problems, and that your channel will handle all that?
Exactly. See, that is the idea. The journalism that I have been doing, I will not stop speaking truth to power. So this is not to say that I'm going to dilute my words or I'm going to not say what I've been saying. But as a journalist also, and I'm sure as people, we are tired of just discussing what Narendra Modi is doing, what RSS is doing, what his government is planning to do. I am tired, I'm sick. And I know that this is not just, all of India doesn't vote for him. So this channel is going to be the voice of the 60% of people who still have hope in our future. So नाम भी मैंने इसका यही रखा है कि ईमान और उम्मीद के नाम. This is going to be the journalism of hope. Because if, as a journalist, if I do not have any hope left in my heart, if I do not have any light left in my heart, how am I supposed to disseminate this? I am informed, that's why I inform you. I disseminate information. If I do not have hope and light in my heart and in my mind, how am I supposed to do that? So I'm going to take my camera and mic to the people and gather whatever ideas and hope and inspirations you have and bring it back to more people.
So it'll be a reportage channel.
It will be a reportage. I mean, reportage is extremely expensive. So I will do reportage as and when resources are available. But I'm promising here that this is also going to be a channel which is going to make explainers. I will bring in people who are, fighting the good fight. They may not have to be the most famous people, the most accomplished people. They may be, somebody who is in your village. So one of the ideas is, for example, to find local icons. I mean, I just revealed this idea. I was not supposed to, but one of the ideas is to find local icons. So for example, not just in Hyderabad, but give me a name of a smaller village, smaller district here.
Smaller district?
In
Say Nizamabad?
Nizamabad. So let's say if somebody is doing good work there, you can write to me, you can tell me that this is the person who's a living icon. So icons don't have to be just the Gandhi or Nehru or Azad or Ambedkar. There are people who are fighting the good fight, who are the crusaders of 21st century. So these are some of the ideas I have to bring in some hope, some light, some inspiration in these dark times.
Thank you. Thank you, Arfa. Very nice. We have time for questions.
Thank you, Chala. Thank you, Arfa. Wonderful session, and I'm sure the audience is still waiting to ask some questions. So can we take 2 questions from them? I'd like 2 hands somewhere from behind. I'm told the people at the back were completely ignored. Yeah, I see one gentleman there wearing specs. Yes, you. No, sorry. This time it's at the back.
Hello, ma'am. Audible? Yes, I hope I'm audible.
Yes.
Yeah, so my question was very simple. I was trying to understand this thing. So when we make some communities villain as the demon, is there any convenience there? They have less power, so they chose them because of less power. Or is it like more because of their inherent beliefs, they are choosing that particular community out of all the less power communities?
I think he's saying, why do you pick a particular community to demonize? Is it because they are less powerful, or because you already dislike and hate them and you want to amplify that, or it's most useful to you?
I think all the reasons that you listed. And also there is a very complex historical background why this particular community is hated, because it's easy to hate. It's easy to hate, it's easy to villainize. I mean, a lot of things are responsible. I would say the reason number 1 is the partition of India. So there are many reasons, out of which I would say I would highlight the partition. Because then I think the woman, she was saying the unfinished partition. I was not thinking I'll agree with her, but on some points I think there are residual issues which are still kind of palpably present in our society. And that is the reason that it's easy to hate, not because we want to hate, not because we are taught to hate. And this has been a sincere and a deep effort of one organization which has been working for the past 100 years, every day, to teach you to hate a particular community.
हिंदू कहूं तो हूं नहीं, मुसलमान भी नहीं, गए भी दोनों बीच में, खेलो दोनों माही. So with that, I would like to say that I'm an atheist. I see both ancient Indian and Mughal contributions, Islamic contributions as part of our heritage. Yet today we have many divisions, and since divisions and religion are a very important question and you also speak about them, I would like some more clarity on one aspect. You once said that the slogan Bharat Mata Ki Jai is a communal slogan. Many nations, including Turkey, embrace the idea of motherland without controversy. And even in today's event, there was one song playing during the lunch break, which is called Vaishnava Janato. It is for Vishnu, but also has many values I believe a lot of people share. So aren't you also becoming part of the problem by vilifying a slogan such as Bharat Mata Ki Jai? And if Bharat Mata Ki Jai as a slogan is also communal, isn't today's event and Manthan Samvaad also become communal by playing a song from a Hindu religion?
Thank you for this question. I was hoping all these years that somebody I will meet and will ask me this question. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Again, this is the part of the same, vilification industry which, twist and doctors and tries to put forward something that I had never said. What I said was that somebody was asking me whether Bharat Mata Ki Jai was communal or not. So I said it is communal because of the way it comes to me. If you come to me and say Allahu Akbar and kill me, now tell me, is Allahu Akbar supposed to be a secular slogan for me? Yes or no? So it's not about the slogan. It's about the way it is coming to me. If you say Jai Shri Ram and kill me, if you say Jai Shri Ram and burn my house, if you say Bharat Mata Ki Jai and try and attack me, then the way slogan is being used is communal, is violent. I have no problems in saying Bharat Mata Ki Jai. I have no problems in saying Vande Mataram as long as it is voluntary. Anything and everything that is involuntary, even if I say here that you all are forced to sing now, the national song, do you think it's going to be something that I will appreciate and will be pleasant to me? So I think the point is to understand how these slogans or any slogan, it could be Allahu Akbar or Bharat Mata Ki Jai or Jai Shri Ram or I love Muhammad. There is also a deep controversy around I love Muhammad, right? So it can be peaceful, it can be communal, depending on how you're using it and who is using it. If you, with so much power, with immense power over me, if you force me to say Jai Shri Ram, if you force me to say that we will not consider you an Indian until and unless you say Bharat Mata Ki Jai, do you think I should really give this test? So it's about the usage. Thank you so much for that question.
Thank you very much, Arfa, for this wonderful session. And I'm sure we could go on for another 1 hour. I'm sure there are enough questions in this audience to keep you glued to your seat. You want two more questions? Yeah, okay. 2 more questions. Yes, this lady
I want
here.
maybe 2 women to ask me those 2
2
questions.
women. So
Yeah.
1 woman is right here. Yes, why?
Hi, Arfa. My name is Ekta. My question has 2 parts to it, and one is about patriarchy and the other is about misogyny in journalism. So the first thing is, whenever rape or crime against women is reported, the headlines always focus on the victim instead of focusing on the perpetrator. What needs to be done to change that? That's the first part of my question. And the second part of my question is that we've seen that a lot of people, men especially with different ideologies, when they come together on a platform to attack women, they're united in their misogyny. So could you just shed light on these 2 things?
Thank you for that question. I think what you're asking is it's not a solution that I can give you right away. It has to be a process. And this has been actually one of the biggest tragedies of our times, that people like you and me, Ekta, we were supposed to be out there fighting for women's rights. But women like me and you, we are forced to fight majoritarianism. We are forced to fight the country that they are trying to turn us into. So most of my energy goes into just fighting this bigger demon. But I agree with you, there should be parallel battles. We can't choose our battles that, okay, every day we are going to wake up and fight majoritarianism. There are going to be days when we should be fighting misogyny. I try to do it in my own little way, sometimes at home, sometimes in my family environment, sometimes in a public meeting like this. So there has to be, I think, a cultural change, which I am happy to report that gradually is coming. And Me Too movement, no matter how small you think it was in India, it has changed a thing or two. So has the Nirbhaya movement. So what Nirbhaya really changed was that the shame is not mine, it is yours. The rapist, not the rape victim. I think this is the cultural change, a silent cultural change, that women started talking about, sexual crimes, unhesitatingly, and in a way that was the space that was not available to them earlier. And the second, as I said, the Me Too movement. I mean, I'm sure we shouldn't wait for any movements. We shouldn't wait for, all of us to erupt in some kind of a movement every day, and movements do not take place every day. But I think in our own individual capacity, me as a mass communicator, you, whatever you do, this is a cultural change that we need to bring in. And this is a process which the byproduct of which we may see in 5 years or 10 years, or I don't know when. Thank you.
One last question, please. Yes.
Hello, my name is Amina. I am an advocate. मेरा सवाल ये था कि जब आपने उम्मीद की बात की, तो एक ऐसा दौर में जब जुडिशरी और मीडिया एक ही जैसी बात कर रहे हैं, जैसे अभी हमने डीवाई चंद्रचूड़ की बात कर रहे हैं, तो इस टाइम में हम अपने आप को कैसे होपफुल रख सकते हैं, और आप भी अपने आप को कैसे होपफुल रखते हैं? दूसरा क्वेश्चन ये था कि जब हम बात करते हैं कि मीडिया मुसलमानों की, मेन स्ट्रीम मीडिया मुसलमानों की, आदिवासी की, दलित की बात नहीं करते, तो मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि मीडिया हिंदुओं की भी बात नहीं करती है, वो कुछ एक खास थोड़े लोगों की बात करती है. तो क्या ये बात सही है?
बहुत प्यारा सवाल है आपका, और यकीन जानिए कि मैंने इनसे नहीं कहा था ये सवाल पूछने के लिए. मैं कैसे उम्मीद, आपने ये कहा कि उम्मीद कैसे बरकरार रखती हूँ, खासकर अगर आप देखते हैं कि सबसे ताकतवर लोग जो हमारे इस मुल्क में हैं, जिनके ऊपर जिम्मेदारी है इंसाफ देने की, जिनके ऊपर जिम्मेदारी है लोगों को सही रखने की, उनके वेलफेयर की. देखिए, मैंने ये पाया है जब मैं कुछ कर रही होती हूँ, when I'm involved in a process of making something, whether it is this conversation we are having, or a video I'm making, or an article I'm writing, or I am generally talking to someone, जब मैं कुछ कर रही होती हूँ, मैं तब सबसे ज़्यादा उम्मीद से भरी होती हूँ. और इस चैनल को बनाने का एक बहुत खुदगर्ज जो मकसद था, वो ये था कि मैं अपने आप को समझती हूँ कि आई एम सच अ डाई हार्ड ऑप्टिमिस्टिक पर्सन, कि पूरा आसमान अगर अंधेरा और उसमें एक चिराग जला हो, तो मैं समझती हूँ कि वो रोशनी को आप ये देखिए, आपने हमेशा देखा होगा कि पूरे अंधेरे कमरे में एक छोटा सा चिराग आप मोमबत्ती जला दीजिए, उस कमरे में अंधेरा नहीं रहता फिर. तो इस चैनल के ज़रिए वही एक छोटा सा चिराग मैं जलाने की कोशिश कर रही हूँ. मैं जब ये काम करती रहूँगी तो मुझे लगेगा कि मैं कुछ कर रही हूँ. इस नाउमीदी को कम करने के लिए, इन हालात को बदलने के लिए, पता नहीं, हो सकता है ये खाम ख्याली हो. It just may be me who's thinking I'm trying to change something. I may not really change anything, but at least I'm trying. और यही मैं आप सबसे कहना चाहती हूँ कि जब तक हम कुछ कर रहे होते हैं, तब तक आप उम्मीद से भरे होते हैं. आपके सवाल का दूसरा हिस्सा था, मुझे बहुत पसंद आया. वो सवाल नहीं था असल में, वो जवाब ही था. कि आपने कहा कि मीडिया, मुझे तो सबसे बड़ी बात यही है कि मीडिया अगर चलिए वो हिंदुओं के ही मुद्दे उठा रहा होता तो मुझे शिकायत नहीं होती. ये होता कि चलिए कोई बात नहीं है, 100 करोड़ हिंदुओं की, 100 करोड़ भारत की आबादी है, उनके मुद्दे उठाए तो जा रहे हैं. वैसा नहीं है. वो अपनी तरह का हिंदू चुन रहे हैं कि हम अपनी तरह के हिंदू के मुद्दे उठाएंगे, सारे हिंदुओं के नहीं. ना सारे किसानों के, ना सारे मजदूरों के, ना दलितों के, ना आदिवासियों के, आपके जैसे यहाँ लोग हैं उनके भी नहीं, स्टूडेंट कम्युनिटी के नहीं. तो ये सबसे बड़ा झूठ है कि ये हिंदुओं की सरकार है, ये हिंदुओं का मीडिया है, ये हिंदुओं का देश है. इससे बड़ा कोई झूठ नहीं है.